Okay, good morning, everybody. I think Julia has connection problem, so maybe I will take it over until she's back. So welcome everybody again. Please let me take you through the agenda of the webinar today. If just can we see the slide? Yes, okay, wonderful. So we should be starting by the short presentation of CAP Digital and NGI initiative done by Julia from CAP Digital. Then we will take you through the presentation of the DAPSI project. We have the pleasure to host the coordinator of this project, Sarah Mateo from Zabala. She will explain you the DAPSI. Then we will hand it over to Augustin Radu from IMT Starter, who is one of the partners of the project, and will present part of the DAPSI that concerns the accelerator program. Then we will have great pleasure to host one of the DAPSI winners from last open call, Alejandro, sorry for misspelling your name, Rosso, who is the coordinator of the Pella project, so that he can share the experience and lessons learned, maybe from the past month that the Pella spent together with DAPSI. And we also have another partner of the project from Fraunhofer Institute, Najme, who will be presenting the challenges for the present call. And then we will take a zoom on the second open call and what will be happening on the requirements, evaluation process, and all the details related to the upcoming months. And that will be taken over by Natalia Garcia from Zabala, who is the coordinator of DAPSI. And then I hope that we will have a little bit of time to answer to potential questions. So that's the roadmap for the next minutes. Do we have Julia already back with us? No, then let me.
I think she wrote in the chat.
Julia, can you speak? No, I think the connection is maybe still making these unpleasant surprises. So just let me introduce myself. My name is Anna Badorska. I'm a colleague of Julia from CAP Digital, working together on the DAPSI project. CAP Digital is French cluster, a community for digital transformation and environment and ecological transition. It's a Paris region-based cluster with over 1,000 members, with a track record of 14 successful years of existence, with a huge community around digital verticals, as we call them, in 6 fields, major fields like sustainable cities, e-health and well-being, retail services, cultural and creative industries, edtech, and technology, data, and AI. So our mission is to innovate, to accelerate, and to support our community in digital transformation. CAP Digital is organizing yearly multiple events, over 120 events organized in 2019, and with many thousands of visitors interested to stay on the pulse and stay on touch with the new technologies. So this is who is the CAP Digital in a nutshell. Yes, there is some more key figures. As you can see on the slide, it's a very vibrant community. I can maybe only add that it's over 3,000 different R&D projects that CAP Digital has supported throughout its years of existence, and a huge number of €1 billion raised by startups, SMEs from our ecosystems. We have also a vast networks of expert connections and open innovation projects. all in digital and all the three in the 6 verticals that I explained. Cap Digital is very active in Europe, so it's more than 40 different European projects in different domains that passed through our doors and our computers. A community of 230 partners and 500 innovators mobilized on the EU funding. Who can benefit from the service and what can we offer? So it's for DAPSI second open call, we provide help, support as regional for our regional ecosystem. And this service is offered only to startups and SMEs that are established in France and members of Cap Digital. Of course, like other interested parties are very welcome always to become a member of Cap Digital community. What can be offered within this support, the DAPSI support system is diagnostic of your project and review of your applications. And it's very simple to apply for or ask for this service. It's just by completing a questionnaire on the link provided through those slides that that will be shared after the webinar. So this is the support of Cap Digital for its members, our members within the DAPSI second open call. We would like to also invite you to a newsletter to stay updated about the activities of Cap Digital in this respect. Open call of DAPSI is only one of many projects Cap Digital is realizing. And also please check out the, we call it in French, cartographie des tendances. So it's like a cartography of trends in digital that has been also translated in English recently and is a very interesting position and fascinating and captivating to read during Christmas. Cap Digital is based in Paris, as I said. Maybe it's we didn't have that many occasions this year to visit our offices, but let's hope it will change next year. And Cap Digital offices are always open to its community for the events and other business-related opportunities. And I think still there is there's one more point about next generation internet initiatives. I think that by this I can hand it over to Sarah, that maybe is best placed to explain the portfolio of projects, European projects that are labeled under this NGI logo, because just to let you know that DAPSI is one of the NGI internet, one project in the initiative called NGI Internet. Sarah, would you like to take it?
Well, just a few words about it. The Next Generation Internet is an initiative that the European Commission launched on the 2016, a few years ago. We are one of the research and innovation projects funded under this initiative of the European Commission, but there are more than 10 other research and innovation projects similar to DAPSI, but with some differences, addressing other fields. Some of them are focused on privacy and trust, others in decentralized technologies, data governance, internet architecture. So very different topics, but with a common aim, a common interest to make the future internet better, and to achieve this, supporting different researchers, startups or SMEs from all over Europe, giving them a small amount of money to make experiments and projects contributing to this better internet. So I invite you to also visit the NGI website, where you can find all the different projects and the open calls that they have. So yeah, if you are a tech company or a researcher, I think that you can find there interesting opportunities.
Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for this introduction to NGI. I guess that you would like to continue also on the DAPSI project. Can you change your slides on your own, or should I do it for you? Normally, there's a little arrow on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I think I can.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I will introduce myself also. I'm Sara Mateo. I'm the project coordinator, and I work at Zavala Innovation Consulting. This is a consultancy firm where we generally support our clients to get public funding. But now in DAPSI, we coordinate this and we manage all the open call process. So this is why today we will explain you what is DAPSI and how to apply, with, of course, other colleagues that will explain some details of the project. So DAPSI is the result of some important trends in Europe. First one is the GDPR, the new General Data Protection Regulation that entered into force in 2018. One of the articles is very focused on making easier for citizens to have any data which is stored with one service provider transmitted directly to another provider. So the general objective is, in general terms, we can say that this aims to give concerned persons better control over their personal data. Also, we have this NGI initiative that I already mentioned in the previous slide. There is an initiative of the European Commission to make internet more human-centric, more open, inclusive, transparent, preserving privacy. So to make these two things a reality, we funded DAPSI under the Horizon 2020 Research and Innovation Program to really implement a project supporting these two main things. So DAPSI tried to foster the advanced research in the service and data portability, and we do that supporting the community of researchers, SMEs, startups, innovators with funding. We offer up to 150,000 euros to selected participants. But this is not the only thing we offer. We also have a program where we offer coaching, mentoring in technical and non-technical aspects. My colleagues Augustin and Natsmeh will better explain this later. But we offer an acceleration program. The project started in 2019, last year, and will have a duration of 3 years. During this time, we will have 3 open calls. And the good news is that we have our second open call open right now, available for applications until the 20th of January. We plan to distribute 2.1 million euros in this second call from a total of 5.6 million euros that we have for the whole project. And to work on this project, we are 6 partners from 5 countries. You can see here in the map that we are all around Europe. We have, well, my company, Zavala, is based in Spain. We have also IMT Starter and Cap Digital based both in France. They are mainly in charge of the business-related support. Also, we have engineering and IT company in Italy offering access to infrastructure. And we have also Fraunhofer Institute based in Germany with the support focus on technical aspects. And we have also F6S, our partner in charge of dissemination, that is based in Ireland. So with this team of experts, we are looking for any innovator in Europe. So we are quite open in terms of applicants. Any profile, it's okay for us. Always this team has the knowledge and the skills to work in a data portability project. So we welcome internet technologists, researchers, innovators, all of them. They can apply alone and in an individual project or in a collaborative project. You can apply as a natural person or as a legal entity, or even you can create a consortium with natural persons and legal entities. So the configuration is totally up to you. One thing that depends on the configuration of your consortium is the funding. So I think it's important to remark this, that we offer 150,000 euros to legal entities and consortiums of legal entities and natural persons. But if you apply as a natural person, one individual person, the funding is limited to 37,500 euros. And if you apply as a group of individuals, this will be limited to 75,000 euros. So take this into account. And I would like to finish presenting very briefly our 11 winners in the first open call. We had very good proposals in our first open call. We only selected 11 of them because of the budget limitations. And today we will have one of these innovators, Dipela, with us explaining the project. I'm not going to dedicate more time to this today, but you have all the information about these innovators in our website, in our Hall of Fame. So I invite you to check this and learn the kind of projects we selected in the first call. And well, I finish here, giving the floor to my colleagues to explain to you about the other interesting aspects of DAPSI and how to apply.
Thanks a lot, Sarah. I think that we can move over to Agustina straight on.
We can. Well, I can. Well, I will speak quite quickly because I'm very happy and proud that Alejandro is here, and I think his testimonial can be better than all the subjects that we can bring in on what exactly we're doing. IMT Starter, as Anna and Sarah said, we are partners in. I'm very happy to be here in this project. Very quickly, IMT Starter exists since 21 years now. More than 200 startups were created here. So we are, let's say, what we call here in France a school incubator. Most of the people know. So we are attached to a business and to engineering school that are always on the same campus. What we're doing is we are taking projects, ideas, projects, even very young startups, and bring them to the, I would call them the next level. Once again, we spend our time to adapt to their, let's say, stage. I will not go in the services that we propose. I will go deeper in the services that we propose in the DAPSI project, but they are at the image of what we are doing here since 21 years, which means that all the things that we try to do with our startups are very hands-on. And what we try to do is also connect people. And more than that, we always used to work with entrepreneurs, which means that all the mentors that we have, there are more than 30, all of them at least start an idea, went in a project, went in a startup, raised money, and some of them really had big success here in France. So each time we have a project, even it's a student project, what you try is that to put the right people around the table for the project. And this is also what we propose in this DAPSI project. So let's say that what we bring in are two things. This is what you have to figure. It's that all of you you will get like a collective online program. Well, we didn't put it in this way because of the COVID. It's what we proposed in the project since the beginning. Those online programs are very hands-on. We will not explain you what a business model is. What we try to do is to push you to think to that. So let's say that the subjects are very focused on the business, which means what is your value proposition. We try to work with you on the lean canvas. Yes, what will be the business model? What is the value that is perceived by your clients? And all these points, which sometimes, let's say, when we deal with tech people, are very far from their thoughts. But once again, I think they are very important. Because at the end, it's true, you will go through the technical part, which I would say you will manage it most of the time. But what we try is to let's say, change a little bit all this and try to push you to think a little bit more business than only tech. And so this is one part, the collective online program. And the second part is the mentoring session that we propose in one-to-one. So each project will get his own mentor. And you will spend at least 3 times 2 hours with your mentor. So he's a person that is dedicated to your project. What we try to do is to put the right person once again with the right project. I would say more in the field that you are. And I think Alejandro can give you also a quick input about the let's say the exchange that he had with Pierre, which is one of our mentor here in the incubator. And once again, all the discussion are definitely more focused on the business part. On the tech part, our partner from Germany will give you the more inputs right after me. And what we say is that we are very open to your questions. It's not that you are spending 2 hours with the people that things are closed. We are happy to help. And this is, let's say, the mindset that we have here in the incubator. We used to work with international projects. We also have been in other European projects. So always happy to help. And once again, Europe, it's a great field to play in. And let's say that the motto that we have here in our incubator is think global. And it's definitely what's happening right now all over Europe. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer questions.
Thank you, Agustin, for this overview of the accelerator program. So what is expected by the winning proposals. And now I think that we can take even a deeper dive into it with the testimony of Alejandro, who just passed through this program, or even actually is still passing, because there's still some activities going on, but I just don't want to take more of your time, Alejandro. The floor is yours.
All right. Thanks, Anna.
Thanks.
So I'm Alejandro. I'm the coordinator of the Dipela project. As the the 30-second speech of Tipella is like we enable cooperation around data, because today, a lot of companies, governments are collecting data, and most of that data contains information about the private activities of individuals or citizens. And the question is like, how can we do analytics and share those analytics without compromising the privacy of individuals? Because, the more data we share, the more value propositions or more opportunities we can create in an ecosystem based on data. And as people say, data is the new oil, the new fuel for the economy. All right, so that's kind of what we are here. So my background, I'm a professor in computer science and working on data privacy. So yeah, so as Anna said, we are just passing through the DAPSI. And yeah, I would like to tell you, some of the experience we have in the program and why I think it was super helpful for us. So yeah, so I have 3 points to share with you. The first one is like the training that Agustin was mentioning before. It was a great training, especially for us, which are people, most of us are not coming from the business side of things, but rather from, we are academics. Most of us are academics. So yeah, the training was online due to COVID and Corona, but it was great. So we learned a lot, like, questions like, what kind of people do you need in your startup when you start? What kind of profile of people you need? Start thinking about what is the addressable market of your solution. As Agustin said, you need to think about the business canvas and value proposition canvas, thinking a little bit, what is your offer and what needs you're going to cover. But then, things super useful as well for us, like, how you run experiments to learn for your prospective customers what you will get, or what are the things that your prospective customer are looking for, how you determine your price, which is, for deep tech startups like ours, pricing is a big question. Then we got like as well technical seminars, and we got one very good, in my opinion, on GDPR given by Nahmed, who is here as well. So that was very useful for us as well, since we did on data privacy. We got as well access to other NGI training partners because we got access to DAPSI. So yeah, that was kind of summarize my first point about the training. Right, the second point is when you do a startup based on research and it's on deep tech, you need to kind of sit and think, okay, what I'm envisioning, and then you do a lot of guesses, right? So this could be good for us, we should go in that direction, and so on and so forth. And putting together the DAPSI proposal kind of force us to think what are the milestones that we should achieve in the 9-month program. And it helped us a lot to keep us our focus, because as Sarah was saying before, you get some funds, but those funds are done in a cascade way, and it means that you need to achieve different milestones in order to keep the cash flowing, and that's kind of help us a lot to be in focus and do steps in the right direction. All right, and then lastly, I think that was amazing for us was the coaching. So yeah, so our coach was Pierre Bilpaus, and he was super useful for us. But as well, we steal a little bit of time from Agustin, and that was amazing as well. And where they were helping, when you this is in the COVID era, so we chat with the DAPSI coaches, but sometimes you need to, our strategy was to start local. Think globally, but we start local. Like, I located in Sweden, so we were kind of trying to get some leads into Swedish companies, because they know the university where I come from. They can appreciate better the reputation that my university provides, and so on and so on. So we decided to start locally, and we talked to some incubators here as well in Sweden. But that will happen. Maybe happens to you as well. Like they start, you need to start conditions to get into incubator, how much equity you need to give away, what is the veto power you need to give them, do you need to give a seed board to them, if they're putting money down or not. So all of these kind of terms was super hard for us. I had absolutely no experience with this kind of things. What is a fair condition to what is not? And then it was super useful to have people at DAPSI supporting us. Like you can write an email to Pierre or Agustin and say, hey, let's chat for 20 minutes. We got these kind of conditions we would like to discuss with you. And both Agustin and Pierre, they have been running this for many, many, many years, and they have a lot of experience. So they kind of made us understand what were fair conditions, what were not. And that was super useful for us. Yeah. And then now, for example, we are talking with, but it's not only conditions to get into local incubators, but as well to now we are talking with companies. We want to run pilots with the company. So what is the price that you should charge for a pilot? What is the industry standard? What is acceptable? We had no idea. Again, we called to Pierre and Agustin, and we kind of got a feeling of what should be something fair to ask for. So that was super, super useful to have like an independent opinion, because the feeling I got from the DAPSI is like, they're here to support us, and they want to take our innovation out into the world. And that was super useful. And I'm honestly saying, it's not that I'm superly honestly really thankful for the coaching sessions we had. A little bit what I hope it happens to the next batch. It's like hopefully you can meet physically and have some interactions, because I'm that's a bit the downside, but it's not the fault of DAPSI or anyone in the room. It's just like the global situation. All right. So, and I think I'm happy to answer questions if you have some. But yeah, but these are kind of the super positive experience for us beyond the funding, which was the training to help us to keep the focus, and the coaching was amazing. So these three things were absolutely great for us. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Alejandro. It's really, really great to hear. It's growing our mood. So thank you for your kind words, and also for coming, and all the best for your pilots for the continuation. So that was Alejandro, and I would now propose that Najma takes over and explain you more about what kind of challenges DAPSI is going to found in this new second open call.
Yes. Hello, you can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you very well, Najma.
Okay.
You can go ahead.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to this presentation. As Anna said and Sarah said, my name is Najma. I'm from Fraunhofer Institute in Germany. So Fraunhofer IAIS is kind of an expert in data analysis and information processing. So in DAPSI, we are responsible for the technical support, and also for defining the research challenges that you face during these data portability solutions. For the second open call, we have identified 3 main subdomains that you can apply for. The first one is service portability, which aims to empower the end users like you and me to share our data with any service provider that we want and with any host that we trust. The second subdomain is data interoperability and compatibility, which remains the same as the first open call. It aims to facilitate switches between service providers. And the third one is security and privacy, and it also existed in the first open call, and the the idea is to ensuring that the personal data are transferred in a secure way from one environment to another one. There are also some other topics that may not fit into the main subdomains as this free subdomain. Then they will fit into this other category, like data correction, data ownership, user education, especially from the GDPR point of view, and some other topics. The service portability, we want to make data and identities usable and portable across services. So the idea is that the end user regain control and like with DAPSI project, we can have innovative new services made possible for the people. So what you can do is that you can introduce and implement suitable micro-scale alternatives and interoperable standards that they have also the potential to be universally deployed, and also the potential to be extended in future. So we strongly encourage you to create or enhance the viable open alternatives for the key proprietary services that people depend on, that everyone uses them every day, like Google, Microsoft, like and different services on Google, for example, Google Calendar, Google Map, and from Microsoft, for example, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and from the Zoom and Facebook, and etc. So the idea is that to create the alternative services, and we know that this is a very hard task. So due to the limited time of this participation in DAPSI, which is 9 months maximum, if you're applying for this category, you can create a fast viable, minimum viable product, a fast version for future work of the community, and that the community can extend this in future. So that's why we strongly suggest that you use open standard, and if possible, even make your implementation open source. So the second subdomain is data interoperability and compatibility. Okay, let's say that people decide to change their services, and now the question is how this data should be transferred. So the environment one and the environment two may have different data models and architecture. So therefore, the data transfer becomes difficult. And the solution here is using common standards and shared vocabularies. I see some questions. I will explain it maybe after this presentation. You get your answer. But what we mean by open standard is we strongly encourage to use W3C standards, vocabularies, ontologies, and FAIR principles, which are findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable data. This is FAIR principles. And so yeah, the challenges during this data transfer is, you should design a cross-domain data architecture that should fit into environment 1 and environment 2, and using established and open data models and standards, like I said, vocabularies and W3C standards, and also tools for data conversion from one format to another. The third category that you can apply for is security and privacy. So when the data are transferred, it should be secured, and in this way, the secure data encryption and transmission during the transfer should be applied, and it should be implemented. And if the data are the personal data, they should be fully anonymized. And also during the transfer, the correctness and the integrity of data should be ensured. And my last slide, as I said, if you have some topic that may not fit into these 3 main categories and subdomain, you can apply for the other subdomain, which, for example, is about ethical and legal issues, like how, for example, if you can design a certification or some kind of methods that you can monitor that a company is complying with the legal issue, especially a GDPR. User education, as I said, for example, from the GDPR point of view, it's very important for DAPSI project. Data correction when the data is transferred is also very important. Data ownership and especially data sovereignty. So, for example, Fraunhofer is involved in a big project called it's an association called International Data Spaces that the focus is on data sovereignty. So you can apply also for this if it doesn't fit into the three main one. And last but not least, the marketing of data portability solutions. So I think that was it. I don't know. Shall I answer now, or shall I?
Thanks, Najma. What I propose is that maybe we continue with the program. So we take a dive into the second open call with Natalia, and then we come back to all the questions. So maybe you can use this time to get deeper into them, and we'll be answering them just after Natalia's presentation. But thank you very much for your thorough introduction to the challenges. So shall we move on to Natalia?
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Anna.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, my name is Natalia. I'm a colleague from Sara, from Zabala, and I'm also part of this DAPSI team. I'm going to explain you how to apply to this second open call. The first step I will recommend you is a basic step, and is to read the guidelines and also the facts, the frequently asked questions. We have a section in our website with a lot of common questions and the answer to them. So first, please read all this information in detail because it's important. This is the best way to don't miss any relevant information or anything that is important for the application. The guidelines is a document that contains a lot of information, like the eligibility criteria, the evaluation process, well, how to prepare the proposal, and all the information that it's needed. Then the second step is to think of a good idea in the data portability domain. As Najma has just explained, there are these specific challenges, but you can also apply in the other topic if you have another idea and you think it can fix well in this open call. Well, how it works. We have a ready submission form to apply in the F6S platform, which is the official channel to use. And there in the F6S form, there are different sections to prepare the proposal. There is a first section with the proposal identification, a second one where you have to indicate the subdomain you will address in your proposal. Also, there is another section for administrative data about the participant and the applicants and other participants in the case there is a consortium. Then section 4 is the proposal description. And finally, section 5 contains some formal questions like the declaration that you are in compliance with the open call rules or that information submitted is true, among others. Then here in this picture, you can see that there is a proposal template that it's mandatory. This is very, very important. This document is a Word document. Also, it is available in an open format, which contains all the sections that you have to complete in the proposal. You have an extension limit of 7 pages. And there is also, through the document in blue text, some guidelines about what you have to include in each section. So please, when you go through this document, read this carefully and try to respond to all the information requested in each section. Well, this is important because each information that it's requested is directly linked with the evaluation criteria. So if you miss some of the information we expect, it will be penalized in the evaluation. So please take this also into account. And then there is another document that it's this template that you have to upload it only in those cases where the consortium is large. The F6S platform is prepared for a maximum of 3 natural persons and 3 legal entities. So in the case that you are, for example, applying a group of 4 individuals, you don't have enough space in the F6S platform, so you will have to upload this extra document with the information of the other participants. Eligibility. I'm going to review the eligibility criteria, which means that if you meet all the conditions, you can be legally selected to participate. If in any case you don't comply with all the conditions, you will be automatically discarded and you will not be evaluated. So it's important to review all the eligibility conditions to be sure that you can participate in the call. Applicants, first of all, are asked to sign a declaration of honor at the proposal stage and later in the signature of the contract, in case they are selected, confirming that there is not double funding and there is operational capacity to execute the work. Then it must be also highlighted that only projects with a research part and the main work dedicated to tech development will be selected. Projects that are focused only on paperwork are out of NGI scope. Then also it is important that DAPSI try to encourage proposals that aim to create open alternatives for the key proprietary service that people depend on, like Google or Microsoft, that it was mentioned before. And then, well, and the paperwork, we are trying to avoid these paperwork projects. Well, about the type of beneficiary, Sarah has explained before that any natural person or legal entity is allowed to participate, but there is an exception, and it's for large enterprises. They are excluded and they cannot participate. The country of establishment or residence, establishment in the case of companies, and residence if the people is applying as natural person. You have a full list of eligible countries described in the guidelines, but in general, all the member states of the European Union and the overseas countries are eligible, and also the territories linked to the member states. And then the language, well, take into account that the official language is only English, so the application and the evaluation will be done in English. Multiple submission is not allowed. Only one proposal per applicant will be evaluated, and you submit more than one proposal, only the last one will be considered. Also, for example, in the case of individuals, you have to participate just in one proposal, and this is also for entities and individuals. Also here we include that there is an official submission system and an official templates. This is important. So the submission should be done only through the official system, that is the F6S platform. So we cannot receive, for example, your proposal by email or using another template different from the one that we provide. In relation to the conflict of interest, applicants cannot be, for example, DAPSI consortium partners or affiliated entities to the consortium partners. And finally, the deadline. Proposals submitted after the deadlines are not eligible, so please take into account that the 20th January at midday is the deadline for this open call. Well, regarding the evaluation, there are different steps. The first one is the eligibility filter, where we will check that this part is done by the consortium of the DAPSI project. And here we check the eligibility conditions, and we discard those proposals submitted, for example, by people who is not established in an eligible country. Once this filter is done, the eligible proposal will be evaluated remotely by external evaluators, and each proposal is evaluated by 2 different experts, and they will do these jobs regarding 3 main sections. The first one is the excellence and innovation of the proposal. That has a 50% of the weight, the expertise and excellence of the proposed team with 30% of the weight, and the project planning and value for money with 20% of the weight. Each criterion will be evaluated from 0 to 5, and each main category, excellence, expertise and excellence of the team and project planning, will have a threshold score of 3 out of 5 points. So then the final score is out of 15 points, and there is also a threshold of 12 points. Well, and then once the evaluation is finished, there will be a consensus meeting with all the experts, and from this consensus meeting, we will generate the final ranking list with the selected participants. This list will be approved by the European Commission, and then we will proceed with the communication of the results to all the applicants, if they are selected or not. The timeline for the second open call is that one that you can see in this image. As I mentioned before, we will close the call on the 20th January. Then there will be the evaluation process that I have just explained, and the communication of results also just after the evaluation process. This is expected to be done in March 2021. And then after the communication of the results, there will be a process of subgrantee agreement preparation and signature with the selected participants, which will be done also in March. And the idea is to start with the phase 1 of the program in April 2021. Well, and with all this information shared or commented, I just give you a last message, that it's that you have the open call well ready to apply. Through this link, you can access directly to the application tool. And just have into account and remember that the deadline is 20th January at 12 noon. This is the midday. It's not midnight, so be careful also with this. And yeah, wait, if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Natalia. Thanks for taking us through those very important steps for the application that, as Natalia mentioned, closes up on the 20th of January. So you have still over 1 month to apply to the program. And I will open it up to the questions now. You can shoot your questions in the chat. We will be answering them like the most relevant persons from our team. I could see there was a lot of questions from Zanata. Maybe Najma, you would like to comment on them so that everybody listening to us could benefit from this, as waiting for the other questions.
Yes. So there was a question about, so what are these openness standards? So traditionally, openness standards are very important for data interoperability. And in this DAPSI project, we are also looking for data interoperability because they should work between different environments. And in order to ensure that this data interoperability is addressed, openness standards are used, and usually the widely W3C standards are used. For example, the data privacy vocabulary, RDF, and also some ontologies and vocabularies that may not be W3C standards, but they are open, and anyone can use them. So in this sense, there should be a very good justification why these openness standards are not used. And so I would just strongly suggest that just to to keep this important criteria in their proposal when they're writing it, because using open standards and applying them in the project and in their implementation is very important to ensure data interoperability.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Najma. We hope, Zanata, sorry, we could answer to your doubts. There's also earlier one question to Sarah. Sarah, would you like to maybe comment briefly?
You mean the question from Zanata too, or?
Yes, I think there was one about the TRL. Yes, it was from Zanata. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if there is any requirement about TRL, we don't really use this term in the guidelines for applicants when we ask for your projects, but I would recommend you to show in the proposal writing a real advance through the 9 months of the engagement in DAPSI. We want to see your progress. Perhaps you can start from very low TRL, or you can have already some developments, and just to improve, complete, and reach a higher TRL of this previous work that you have. There's not a limitation there. What we strongly advise is to have a research component in your proposal, and also technical development. It was not so clear or highlighted in the first call, but now we want to highlight this.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Are there any more questions that you would like to ask the team? I think Arlo is typing from what I can see, and Sandrine, so we can wait a little longer. There is one. Sandrine and Arlo, the same question. Last year, our project made it to the NGI reserve list, but we were not founded. How can we get feedback to understand why we did not make the cut and improve the next submission? Sandrine, are you talking about the NGI? Which NGI project are you referring to? Is it DAPSI related question or some other NGI related questions? DAPSI related, yes. Yeah, Sarah.
Okay, well, unfortunately, we don't assess proposal by proposal. We cannot review it with you because of transparency and fairness with the rest of applicants. I guess if you applied, you received an evaluation summary report. Perhaps you want to receive more information. I'm sorry for that. But what I can recommend you is to, well, first, to attend this webinar is super important, I think. Also, I recommend you to read very carefully the guidelines for applicants, because there we remark all the important things that we expect in a proposal. And also, what you can use is official mail address that we have for the open call. So even if we cannot assess proposal by proposal, if you have specific questions, you can ask there and we will answer to you.
Thanks, Sarah. And also, please remember, I'm not sure if Arlo and Sandrina you are from Cap Digital community, if you're a member. But if you're a member, also please reach out to us. We have this service now to work with the members to help edit the proposals. There's another one from Zanata that is worried about the open source topic. That I don't know if you can, Sarah, if you can see it by justifying why we cannot put everything in open source. Can they be sure that they are eligible?
Well, this is not an eligibility issue, but an evaluation criteria. So you are not discarded if you don't use open source standards or licenses, but it will be evaluated by the experts. So this is why I say that if not used, it must be duly justified to convince the evaluators that you have a good reason behind this. So this is now you're working in the proposal writing to explain this and defend your position.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Zanata, for this question. I think that there is one more person that is typing. Oh, it was only Zanata to say thank you, Sarah. And yes, Sandrine and Arno, if you are not yet a member of Cap Digital, it's like your life chance to become one, maybe. Sorry for this plug. I don't see any more questions. Like, let's wait for another couple of seconds if someone there on the other side of the internet is scratching their heads. Okay. So if there is no more question, I just would like to thank the attendees for finding the time to participate in this webinar. Thank you very much, the speakers. Thank you, my project partners, and Alejandro for joining. I just remind that the deadline is on the 20th of January. Just let me also remind you that everybody that registered to this webinar will get the slide deck and the recording soon from us. And also just a reminder that if you're a French innovator, Cap Digital will be happy to support you on your application journey and also beyond on other different EU projects. If there is nothing, questions, everything fine. Okay, then thank you so much, everybody. Happy vacation of the end of the year, and we keep working. And all the best. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.